Hello everyone, you're welcome to Muftau Nabila Abdullah YouTube channel. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullah, and today, once again, I'm coming to you from Man Electrical, my baby. I sell everything electrical. You can get in touch with me on 059 892 8440 or 8441 059 892 or 8441. Either of these numbers, you'll be getting in touch with me. Today, I'm here to share just my quick moments or my quick review of the year 2024 in Ghana's sporting calendar. So I'm going to start from 2024 when the African Cup of Nations happened. Ghana had a very horrendous performance in that tournament. I was in Cote d'Ivoire for that. I was at the stadium in the opening game against Cape Verde. I was in the stadium for the game against Egypt. I was in the stadium for the game against Mozambique. Horrendous outcome. Worst AFCON I've ever personally been there. A couple of things happened, and from a media perspective, I felt were wrong, especially my colleague journalists who were abusing the coaches, my colleague media men who were abusing or using foul language on players. Over there, I'd made it clear to them that I disagreed with this posture, I disagreed with these comments, and that was one of the most difficult tournaments to cover. In as much as I've covered some major tournaments, the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire was one of the most difficult. It was quite a hectic experience too in Cote d'Ivoire, where people were trying to unnecessarily hike prices of stuff. The only safest way to move was for you to move with a platoon, which was the cheaper option, or move with Yango. These were the only things that could make movement a bit easier because everything in Cote d'Ivoire was hiked up. It made life so expensive in Cote d'Ivoire. I lost my money. I had to buy gadgets because one of my budgets fell into a WC and all that. So quite interesting stories. But I think AFCON 2021 was a tournament to forget. Also, the sacking of Chris Hughton is another thing. Chris Hughton was always not going to stay. The FA was going to sack him. They started nursing plans to sack Chris Hughton far back as October 2023. So sacking him post that AFCON performance was something that was always going to happen. The only thing that was going to save Chris Hughton was him to win the tournament. And since he didn't, they had to let him go. In fact, an FA official actually told me that when they were in Jubilee House, he had categorically told the president that Chris Hughton was going to disgrace Ghana. And he was proven right when we went to the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. The next highlight will be the return of Otto Addo, who came back to take over the Black Stars coaching job. Once again, I was privy to lots of things that happened. But let me just say this. I wasn't the person who broke the story. I saw the story making rounds in the media. But I think I was the first to actually get the duration of his contract. I was the first to get his monthly salary. I was the first to report many other stuff that were happening about his appointment of backroom staff and all that. So yeah, that's actually another highlight for me in the year 2024, as whether his return was worth it or not. Trust me, the qualification series we all saw in Ghana's failure to qualify to the AFCON next year or in 2025, let me put it that way, it's a testament of what your position would be, whether Otto Addo's return was worth it or not. And let me just still stay on football. Another highlight would be Ghana's failure to qualify to the African Cup of Nations. How on earth do you play 6 qualifying matches? 2 of the teams in your group did not have an opportunity of playing in front of their very own spectators, but the Bling Bling Black Stars could not could not win a single game out of the qualifying campaign. So I felt that that's a top highlight and a low moment for Ghana football. Then there was the Under-17 World Championship where Lai Kingston walked away from the job. I don't know. It seems Ghana football in the year 2024 was quite dramatic. Dreams FC kind of made their country proud by making it to the semi-final of the CAF Confederation Cup. It was the first time since 2004 when a Ghanaian club had made it to this stage of the competition. And this was their first time outing in the CAF Confederation Cup. And for them to have done that was quite a success for me. Samatex won the Ghana Premier League. I think they deserved it. They worked extremely hard to merit it. I followed a chunk of their matches, and the way they were running away with the title, it was quite difficult to see them losing it, and they walked away with it. Another moment would be about the Under-20 Women's Championship, where Ghana went to the World Cup. Unfortunately, once again, the Black Princesses could not progress beyond the group stage. They were eliminated, and they came back home. Then Ghana won both the men and women's football competition in the African Games. That I felt was another top highlight. In fact, Ghana also won the WAFU Women's Championship in Kumasi, another top highlight. And I cannot forget the disgraceful act of nearly having this country banned from hosting international matches by CAF until the Ministry and the National Sports Authority were able to turn it around. That statement from CAF alone is a statement that clearly suggests that Ghana is quite horrible. I cannot in my lifetime understand that a country that has been to the World Cup 4 times, made huge amounts of money from the World Cup, does not have a fit-for-purpose stadium to be able to host international competition. Quite horrible for me to actually put my thoughts on that, because it was quite terrible. Then I will talk about the other stuff, i.e. the organization of the African Games. I felt Ghana did well. They did well in the sense that in the latter part of the competition, the atmosphere surrounding the event was massive, especially the track and field events. But the country could have done better. The organization was quite chaotic from the beginning. Cyclists had issues with bikes. Volleyball players had issues because they didn't have the right socks to wear. Then there was the off-pitch issues of the humongous amount of money Ghana have spent to organize a competition. $15 million or $16 million spent on feeding about 12,912 athletes. Not just athletes, 912 people, because the athletes were about 4,000, 5,000. Then there were other officials, there were volunteers, there were security and all that. So in total, the total number of people who were fed was about 12,912 or so, if my memory serves me right. In fact, I was given that data. And they bought the food for them in dollars. That's what I found quite weird. You organize a competition in Ghana, and you're buying food for athletes, volunteers, and people in dollars. I couldn't comprehend that. And they were buying food for $16, $20, $21, $17. I'm like, what? Why do I host a competition in Ghana? The person who bid for the product, I'm paying the person in dollars. Then there was the broadcast issues that also happened. Some of these were low moments for me in terms of Ghana's organization of the African Games. But to talk of the high moments, Kadmani Van Siamoa won gold medal with 2.23 meters jump. Rose Yeboah, arguably the best female high jumper in Africa, won gold. Then there was Joseph Paul Amoah winning gold medal in the men's 200 meters. The men's 4x1 was able to win a silver medal in that event. Then there was the women's weightlifting. Winifred won 2 medals for Ghana. Oh, the Arm Wrestling Federation, they actually came to save this country by winning most of the medals for Ghana. The other disciplines, not so much. in terms of success. But I think it was an eye opener. I think that as a country, there should be a deliberate investment into sports if we really want to do well in these major competitions. I've always said that participating in major competitions is not a profit and loss basis. If you look at it that way, then probably you will never have your athletes go to compete at the Olympics, at the World Champs, and many other competitions. It is only football, and for that matter, uh, uh, um, CAF and FIFA events that you go and participate and you get prize monies for it. Most other competitions, like the Commonwealth and other stuff, like the countries that came to participate in the African Games, where they paid appearance fees and all that. But they expended huge money to come and win. And the athletes benefited individually. So if we want to look at Ghana's participation in major competition or investment into sports, look at it in profit and loss basis, it will be going to be terrible. Look at it as a product that can directly impact your economy. Because during the African Games, the business opportunities that were created, the hotels that were filled, the transportation opportunities, the pure water seller, the chinchinga seller, even those who were selling clothes, everything. It brought lots of stuff into Ghana's economy. I think this is where we should be looking at it in terms of our investment in sports if Ghana really wants to succeed. Then I would also talk about the Chan team. The Chan team's failure to qualify to the Chan tournament. It's a massive, massive blow for me. Once again, the leadership of the Ghana FA have failed in terms of how they want to manage Ghana football. Attempts to make it back-to-back Chan tournaments would not materialize after the team lost to Nigeria. I think one positive highlight, will be about Desmond Affair and his boys being able to qualify to the African Youth Championship after missing out in the last edition. It's a positive thing to have because our next generation of Black Stars players should have the right platforms to compete and compete well. And I think the African Youth Championships will really test the team, and hopefully they will be able to do well in that tournament. The Olympic Games, Ghana let down Rosie Boa, quite horrible. This was an athlete who was the best among all university students worldwide when she did 1.97 meters. In the space of 6 weeks, Ghana could not support her to actually get a medal in the Olympic Games. The first Ghanaian woman to actually qualify to the Olympic Games. And let me say this thing. It might sound very controversial, but this is where I see it. This is how I see it. Even Rosie Boa's qualification to the Olympic Games merits a national honor. She merits it. Julian, when she went to the Olympics, can anyone actually tell what it means for your flag to be flown at a major competition like this? The Ghana Tourism Authority, with all due respect to them, cannot sell this country like any other athlete, like our national team. But you and I, our taxes are given to them to promote this country. So why can't we get part of our taxes to support these athletes so that they will continue to do well and represent us at major competitions? Why can't we, a part of our taxes, I'm not monetizing, in fact, sport is money, but I'm not monetizing our national teams. I am not monetizing our athletes. But when you qualify for a major competition, the first woman in history to do so, at least you deserve some recognition. At least you deserve some recognition. And I think Rose should have gotten it. Joseph Paul Amoah, unfortunately, could not make it to the Olympics, but he was part of Ghana's relay team. Azamati and Naminu qualified to the Olympics through the ranking. Congratulations to both of them. They made it to a semi-final. They couldn't make it to a final. But that is a massive step for me. If there was the right investment in these athletes, some of these athletes, if we have an idea what they do behind the scenes to survive and also train to compete and represent this country, would actually pity them. The African Games, we all had hopes in Azamati. Unfortunately, he couldn't fly high. But he was part of that relay team that did well. They went to the pen relays, they were in the Bahamas relays to qualify to the Olympics. In fact, there was the African Athletics Region 2 Championship, which was hosted by Ghana. Then there was the African Athletics Seniors Championship hosted in Douala. That was another competition where Ghanaian athletes went there and did well. Roche won gold. The 4x1 won gold in those championships. Mary Boachi won a bronze medal also in the women's 100 meters, or is it 200 meters? I stand corrected for this. So yeah, with the right investment, our athletes will actually do well. I'm not sure many people actually even knew that Ghana hosted a Region 2 Athletics Championship in Ghana. I'm not sure people actually knew that we had athletes in Douala in June for the African Athletics Championships. Many people don't know. Yeah. And let me just cap it off with, I don't know, which one to have I forgotten? Maybe you can share yours. You can also share yours because this is supposed to be very interactive. So let's make it as interactive as possible. Your comments, everything are welcome. Then let me wrap up with one thing. It's been in the pipeline for a while about the Ghana FA wanting to change their statutes so that the president can go for 3 terms. The lawyers can educate us this one. Just as people are talking about now about changing the Ghana constitution so John Dramani Mahama can go for another term in office. The constitution in its wisdom, I'm not a lawyer, so I stand to be educated on this. The constitution in its wisdom always encourage actions taken or review of our statutes to take future actions and not retroactive. So if John Mahama actually oversees a constitutional review, in fact, it is the future presidents that will benefit from it. Educate me. So I want to bring this to the Ghana FA as well. The constitution that voted the president into office is a previous one. The constitution that gave him the mandate for a second term is a previous one. So if you are changing the statutes to be allowed to go for 3 terms, it means that it is going to take a future action instead of a retroactive. It's supposed to take a future action and not retroactive. Because that would mean that it is going to be a retroactive implementation of the new statute to allow the president to continue. I think that's an area people should be looking at. I don't know. Now, as part of the Ghana FA, it's a private institution, but it's a private institution with public interest. Its laws are not alien to the country's laws, to the country's constitution. The drafting of Ghana's football laws are in conjunction with Ghana laws, with Ghana's constitution. So I do not think, but once again, lawyers can educate us. I do not think that it would be possible that the FA president and his executive council gets a review of the GFA statutes for the president to go more than 3 terms, or more than 2 terms. Because that would mean reviewing the statutes to take a retroactive action. Or what do the lawyers even call it? I beg, if you have money, give me, make I go and do law. If I go and do law, maybe I'll be properly placed. But I've read loads of stuff. I've read the law a bit. I needed to read certain things. So I've read certain things just to have a proper appreciation of how things work before I can share this. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of my journey on all platforms, on television, on radio, online. Thank you to the Ghana Journalists Association for recognizing my work by making me the Sports Journalist of the Year. I pray 2025 is the year that you achieve your dreams. You meet your destiny helper. I might be your destiny helper. You might be my destiny helper. I wish you all the best in the year 2025. Thank you.